On the eve of our wedding, my fiancé shacked up with his intern. On New Year's Eve he snatched our engagement ring so he could play her pretend boyfriend. I left one comment under her lovey-dovey social media post. He stormed over and demanded to know why I was making a scene. I'm done. Wire me my half of the townhouse money. I walked away cleanly, then became the client he had to grovel to. When we met again, I had a new man on my arm, and he couldn't even land on my vendor shortlist. Right now my mind felt hollow. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and for the longest moment I couldn't react. I only remember forcing out a shaky "best wishes to you both" before I hung up like a routed soldier fleeing the field. That night I curled up in bed, tossing and turning until the sky paled with first light, the video replaying in my head on endless loop, Ethan's tired but beaming face and the girl's bright, tinkling laugh. The next morning he walked through the door carrying 2 steaming bags of takeout breakfast. "Babe, come eat, see what I brought you." He set the boxes on the coffee table the way he always did, eyes coaxing, not mentioning that he'd never come home the night before. "Where were you? You promised you'd be early." Do you know how terrified I was? A whole night of fear exploded out of me, my voice cracked. "Sorry, sweetheart. Last-minute company dinner." I couldn't duck out. He tossed the explanation off as if it were nothing, perfectly reasonable. If I hadn't seen the proof with my own eyes, I might actually have bought it. What coworker dinner could be more important than the night I got laid off? Just the usual team thing, plus it's her make-or-break probation week. You know how office politics go. Then, as if he'd just remembered, he asked about the severance. "So it's definite? Did you get the payout you wanted?" "Yeah, I signed the papers with HR today. From tomorrow we won't be commuting together anymore." "Doesn't matter, baby. Even if you never work again, I can take care of you." "I'm not asking you to take care of me. I'm asking you not to vanish when everything's falling apart. It won't happen again. Yesterday was a one-off, I swear, you'll never have to face anything alone." He pulled me close, one big hand stroking my hair, his voice syrupy with tenderness. Under that familiar spell my anger slowly ebbed. "Listen, you've got free time now and the job market's brutal. Why not renovate the new condo? Your severance will more than cover it. We met in college. To beat the graduate then breakup curse I gave up my grad school fellowship, set the campus job fair with him, and followed him into the working world. Luck landed us at the same firm, 6 years and counting. Side by side we'd climbed from junior staff to department managers, and my parents had finally warmed to him. We pulled every bonus and bought a modest 2-bed, 2-bath unit we called our future townhouse. The plan was to bring both sets of parents together over the holiday and hammer out wedding details. Then came the layoff, and the timeline lay in ruins. The payout was generous, but I still worried about the gap on my resume. Reading my hesitation as lingering anger over last night, he dropped the renovation pitch. To make amends he took me to Riverside that evening and bought me a diamond and platinum ring, no candlelight, no bended knee. He simply slid it onto my finger in the store, confident I wouldn't refuse, and I didn't. For a second that circle of metal felt like safety. Word of my departure leaked, and a handful of colleagues insisted on a farewell dinner. Someone, no one would own up, told me to bring Ethan. Our relationship was no secret, so I agreed. I was in the private dining room greeting people when Ethan walked in, with Brielle inches behind him, and the blood drained from my face. "Yenjia, I heard you're leaving. I begged Teen to let me tag along, hope you don't mind." She clung to his sleeve, chirping as though we were old friends. Before I could answer, Ethan jumped in, "Of course not. Madison loves a crowd, she's thrilled you came." Under everyone's gaze I swallowed the bile and smiled. "We're all co-workers here, glad you could make it. See? Told you Madison's super easygoing," Ethan teased, tapping Brielle's forehead. She stuck out her tongue, a gesture that knifed straight through me. So his gentleness wasn't mine alone, so he could brush another girl's skin without thinking. I blinked hard, refusing to cry, forcing my smile to stay put. I would not lose it in front of colleagues. Because I'd assumed Ethan would come solo, I'd saved the chair beside me. He never looked at it. Instead he pulled out the seat nearest the door for Brielle, settled next to her, and offered, "First time meeting everyone, thought I'd help her settle in." Brielle clutched his cuff, gave it a tiny shake, and played the bigger person. "Team, tonight is Yenjia's night. Ignoring her is rude, she'll be mad at you later." "Madison's sensible," he shrugged. "I brought you, I should look after you." Watching them across the table, I locked my rage behind my teeth, lowered my eyes and ate in silence. Mid-meal Ethan excused himself to the restroom. The moment the door swung shut, Brielle cooed again. By the way, Yenjia, have you lined up your next job? I heard lots of the people who got cut still haven't found anything. I've got some things to take care of, no rush, I answered coolly. I didn't mean to pry. A friend's company is hiring, but they only take new grads. If you want, I could put in a word. I would turn 27 after the new year. Pass. Keep it for yourself. Yenjia, she bit her lip, eyes glistening, about to spin another sentence. I'd already dropped my gaze, I had nothing left to say to her. Just then Ethan walked in from outside. What's wrong, Brielle? Brielle's eyes were red-rimmed, her lower lip trembling as if she might burst into tears at any second. Team, I didn't mean to. Please help me explain to Maddie. I was only worried about her, I wanted to help her find a job. Ethan frowned the instant he heard it. Without asking a single question, he turned on me. Madison, Brielle meant well. Don't be so petty, I couldn't take it anymore. I lifted my eyes and glared at him, resentment burning. I'm petty? So I'm supposed to thank her profusely to prove I'm gracious? I only told the truth, I do have something urgent to deal with right now. Wasn't it you who told me to focus on decorating our future townhouse these days? Where would I find the time or energy for anything else? The moment I mentioned the townhouse, the whole room erupted, voices chiming in. Madison, career hit but love life soaring, you're getting married. Yeah, we're all dreading the holiday pressure from parents and relatives, and you've escaped that minefield. Congrats. I smiled and dipped my chin, then extended my left hand to show the ring on my fourth finger. What can I say? Ethan loves surprise attacks, so when he proposed I said yes. We're getting married after the new year. Co-workers offered congratulations one after another, and I acknowledged each with a smile. Brielle's face was chalk white, lips pressed tight, her gaze fixed on the ring like it burned her. Team, I feel dizzy. I want to go home. Eyes glistening, she picked up her purse and stood. Ethan rose at once, draping her coat over her shoulders. I'll drive you. I don't feel right letting you leave alone. No need. Maddie's still here, stay with her. I can manage. The words had barely left her mouth when she swayed, about to collapse. Ethan caught her by the shoulder and insisted on taking her. Before they exited, he tossed me a cold, parting line, I'm taking Brielle home. Make sure you come back early, clean, efficient, and then from behind the door his indifferent voice drifted back, all her co-workers are here, she'll be fine. In an instant the private dining room felt unbearably awkward. I sat frozen, unsure how long I'd been there, so long the co-workers trickled out one by one, so long a server finally tiptoed over to say they were closing. Only then did I come back to myself. I remembered how, not long ago, he had sworn he'd never leave me alone again. Yet here we were, his promise already forgotten. My heart throbbed, or had it gone numb? By the time I reached home it was midnight. The first thing I faced was Ethan's reproachful stare. What was that today? How could you talk to Brielle like that? She cried the whole way home. What about me? What was that stunt you pulled bringing her along? And did I say anything untrue? Aren't we planning to marry next year? Suddenly it all felt pointless. I bottled up the storm inside and spoke flatly. Or were you lying all along? One tear from your little subordinate and your heart breaks? If you're having second thoughts, say so. We can call off the wedding and break up right now. Panic finally flashed in his eyes. He stepped forward and grabbed my hand. Don't say that. I'm not regretting anything. I'd marry you this year if your mom would let us. I drank too much tonight, and I was worried when you stayed out so late. I got anxious and snapped. I almost laughed out loud at his explanation. Worried? If he'd been worried, where were the phone calls? Why had he barged in caring only about Brielle? In the past every apology felt like proof of love. Now it felt hollow, pathetic. I was too tired to keep arguing. I went to the bedroom and locked the door behind me. That incident passed, and soon it was New Year's Eve. Because Ethan's hometown was far away, he joined my family for the reunion dinner, same as every year. He arrived laden with gifts. Mom greeted him warmly. She'd been busy since dawn, filling every inch of the table with dishes. We'd just picked up our chopsticks when his phone rang. On the other end I could hear Brielle sniffling. Hui, can you help me? I don't know who else to turn to, sob. I rolled my eyes. What a jinx on a night meant for family. And already she'd promoted him from team to Hui. What happened? Slow down, tell me. He walked to the corner, unable to mask his concern. It's the holiday, Mom's forcing me on a blind date. I panicked and told them I already have a fiancé and we're engaged. Now they're grilling me, won't let me come home. You're the only one who can come, please, her soft voice pleaded through the speaker. Wait for me, he agreed without hesitation. After hanging up he pulled me aside. Madison, Brielle's in trouble. She needs me, I have to go. She calls and you run? What about me? Don't be unreasonable. She's really stuck out there, what if she catches pneumonia? Unreasonable? On New Year's Eve my fiancé dashes off to meet another woman's parents, and I'm the unreasonable one? My whole body shook, words failed me. Be good. I'll just check and come right back. Remember to explain to your mom. Oh, and give me the ring. Brielle says she needs it to convince her mom she's actually engaged. I clenched my fists until my knuckles turned white. My throat burned. Tears I'd held back finally slid down. When I didn't move, he pried my fingers open, slipped the ring off, and hurried out. The room fell into suffocating silence. Only after a long while did I collect myself and step out. Mom looked at me, worried. Work emergency, Mom. His CEO dragged him off, nothing he could do. They'll probably feed him there. Let's eat, we don't need to wait. I forced cheerfulness, hid my heartbreak, and urged Mom to start, afraid any flicker of pain would leak through. At midnight, as the clock struck, fireworks scattered across the night sky outside the window. I lay on my bed, hearing the gala music from the living room TV, but my ears rang as if wrapped in cotton, numb, helpless. Just then Brielle's newest post popped up, a photo of a New Year's table, wine glasses raised in toast. The hand in the photo, long and familiar, was both recognizable and glaring, and right next to it, the hand raised in a toast was pale, the stolen engagement ring glittering on its finger. A caption sat beneath the picture. New Year, bringing my fiancé home to meet the parents. Playful, syrupy sweet. Underneath, a string of congratulations from Hawthorne coworkers. My first instinct was to call Ethan, but a split second before I hit dial, I lowered the phone. A while later I opened the app, scrolled back to that post, and left a comment. Congrats, hope my ring fits you. I sent it, quit the app, and powered the iPhone off. Early the next morning, Ethan stormed over. Madison, do you even realize what you've done? What did I do? Why did you leave that comment on Brielle's feed last night? Do you know how many coworkers saw it? How is she supposed to face people at Hawthorne now? He jabbed a finger at me, face contorted, shouting. I hadn't slept, I had no energy to explain. I stared back, ice cold. Her problems aren't mine. Since you're so worried about her, just make the sham real. The ring's my gift to you both. I cut him off mid-protest and slammed the door. Only then did he cool down. A sudden panic flashed through him, he shoved his hand into the narrowing gap. Ah, he yelped. What are you doing? I yanked the door open, voice low but sharp. Madison, I'm sorry, I lost my temper. Please, don't shut me out. I've said what I needed to. Go. I mean it, I'm sorry. I'll get the ring back today. Brielle's just a junior colleague, there's nothing else. You're the only one I love. Hand swollen and red, he swore with a pleading whimper. I said nothing, just drove him to urgent care for a bandage. Eventually the ring was returned to me, but I didn't slide it on again, I tossed it into the drawer. Sam, life slid back into its grooves. While everyone else dove into new schedules, I mapped out my own future. I took my parents' advice and started cramming for the civil service exam, camping in their house, head buried in books. Ethan returned to Hawthorne, our paths crossed less and less, reduced to stiff greetings. One night, just as I was turning in, my iPhone pinged. A picture. I opened it, and my vision tunneled. A man and woman tangled on a bed. Instantly recognizable, Ethan and Brielle. And that bed, my bed, the one I'd picked for our future townhouse, still smelling of fresh linen. Those two had sneaked into my home, onto my mattress, and done that disgusting thing right under my nose. Seconds later a voice note popped up. Baby, who feels better, me or Maddie? Brielle cooed between breathy moans. You, obviously. 7 years with her? Anyone would be bored, Ethan panted. A roar filled my skull, thoughts froze. I stood paralyzed, iced over. I was a living joke. 7 years, all those sweet nothings, toppled by one word, bored. Evidence slapped me senseless. This time I wouldn't swallow his apologies or his so-called love. I didn't confront him. I never set foot in the new condo again. Silently, I boxed every trace of myself from the rental and shipped it away. When the last carton left, I messaged him, calm as still water. Ethan, we're done. I've cleared my things, handle the rest. Ring and keys are on the coffee table. He showed up at Mom's that same night. Madison, what now? If you're tired of saying breakup, I'm tired of hearing it. Work stress lined his face, he pinched the bridge of his nose, blaming my childishness. Simple, I don't love you anymore. I'm ending this, stop the drama. I'm swamped at Hawthorne, I can't baby you 24/7. Listen carefully, we're incompatible. This isn't tantrums, it's final. I met his gaze, every word steady. Also, I vacated the rental and I'm walking away from the new condo. Refund my share, 45 grand, and we're square. Only then did panic strike. He grabbed my arms as if something vital were slipping out. Tell me what I did wrong. Apologize, okay? You can't leave, I love you. Love? Love means screwing someone else? I flung his hands off, eyes frigid. Alarm flickered across his face, quickly masked. What are you talking about? There's been nobody but you. I fired the photo to his iPhone without a word. Where did you get this? You're vile, Ethan. 7 years of trust, and you soil my bed. Doesn't it disgust you? That's not what happened. We were entertaining the client, everyone was wasted. I mistook her for you. Believe me, only you matter. I turned away, his lying face nauseated me. Save it. I'm nauseated every time I look at you. Transfer the 45,000, renovation plus down payment, and disappear. Hearing the sum, he blanched. Madison, you know I don't have that kind of cash. We're getting married, find it in your heart to forgive me. He lunged, hugging me tight, voice quivering at my ear. Revulsion spike, flashes of that photo, sent me thrashing free. Borrow it, mortgage it, I don't care. 10 days. If the money isn't in my account, the clip goes company-wide. Let's see how long you and your mistress last at Hawthorne. I slammed the door in his face. For the next week, no amount of pleading moved me. Every time he mentioned reconciling, I reminded him of the deadline. He finally accepted it. On the 10th day the refund hit my card. Later, ex-coworkers told me he and Brielle went public soon after. Thanks to office gossip, Brielle's reputation tanked, and her life at Hawthorne was anything but smooth. I didn't feel much after hearing the news. The moment the money hit my account, I blocked them and stopped caring about anything they did. When I came clean to Mom, I was surprised. They didn't object. They only said, whatever our daughter chooses, we'll support. I was touched and ashamed at the same time, regretting that I'd once thought so little of myself and let my parents down. So I cut off every distraction, refused every invitation, and devoted myself to the exam, training center, library, home, day after day, nothing else on my mind. Half a year later I finally landed the Riverdale Post. Only then did I reconnect with the outside world. Lucy heard and immediately asked me out for drinks. I said yes, happy to go. At the bar she teased, you've got the golden ticket job now, so when's the wedding? I still haven't been your maid. No rush. I just crawled out of that dumpster fire relationship. I'm not ending single life so fast. Sounds like you're actually enjoying this phase. Absolutely. Single is bliss, no pain, no drama. I lifted my glass, eyes closed, and took a small sip. Wow, enlightenment after the emotional roller coaster. I smiled but didn't answer. By the way, check the high school group chat? Next week we're meeting at the Southgate Hotel, come with me. I'll pass, I've got stuff to do. Like what? The big stuff is done, time to relax. Lucy wouldn't let go, practically dragging me along. Didn't you say you wanted a condo? Adrian will be there, his family's sterling development sold like crazy. Ask him for a discount. I really did plan to buy. The refund from Ethan had been sitting in my account untouched. Now everything was settled, and I wanted a place near Riverdale. Fine, RSVP for me, I'll show up. Great. Dressed to kill. Back in the day you were our class, after all. On reunion day I dressed with extra care. For years Ethan had hated these things, so I'd skipped every high school gathering. Walking into the hotel, I saw familiar faces everywhere. After so long, the warmth was overwhelming. Madison, Lucy says you landed a job at Riverdale? That's a dream unit. Yes, that Lucy is my Lucy. I haven't reported for duty yet, still waiting on paperwork. It's a done deal. Don't forget us little people when you're in power. I smiled politely. Suddenly someone shouted, Adrian, you're late, penalty drink. Half the guys jumped up to greet him. I turned and saw a man in a sharp business suit, a black coat draped over his arm. Years had turned Adrian into this calm, polished professional. I could barely connect him to the prankster who used to yank my ponytail from the desk behind. His eyes flickered when he saw me. He gave a slight nod. I answered with an easy smile and a tip of my head. Sorry, work held me up, 3 penalty drinks coming. He apologized good-naturedly. Atta boy. Grab that seat, let's eat. Someone pointed to the empty chair at the head. Lucy was on my left, the right side was open. Adrian dropped into it. I'll be lazy and sit here, he said, hanging his coat on the chair. Class won't mind, right? He joked, glancing at me. Of course not, Madison never minds, Lucy cut in before I could speak. She wants a condo near Riverdale, your Sterling project is right there, give her a discount. Adrian's eyes lit up. Easy. Class, pick a day and I'll personally show you around. Stop calling me class, just Madison, deal. Maddie, let's swap numbers, I'll text you. He said it so smoothly I let it slide, though I thought, not everyone gets to call me Maddie. He moved fast. That weekend he texted and took me to view units. Sterling really was impressive, hotel-style management, great location, perfect vibe. On his advice I picked one. The instant the card went through, I felt a rush of release, like I'd finally sliced away the past. In high spirits I invited him to dinner. The insider discount had saved me a bundle. I assumed a man that busy would beg off, instead he agreed instantly. That surprised me. He laughed. What, you think I'd refuse? Thought this wasn't a sincere invite? No, of course it's sincere. You've helped me a lot. It was spur of the moment, so we chose a little chef's table and ordered whatever sounded good. Before the food arrived he carefully rinsed our utensils and poured me tea. I watched, amazed, and joked, didn't expect Mr. Sterling to be this thoughtful. Your girlfriend must feel like she hit the jackpot. He set the teapot down and looked straight at me. Be my girlfriend and you can have that jackpot, huh? What did you just say? I said, be my girlfriend. His eyes locked on me, refusing to miss a single flicker of expression. You're kidding, we're impossible. Why? I asked Lucy. She says you're single, I'm single, nothing's stopping us. His gaze burned, my face went hot and I dropped my eyes. The rest of the meal he kept piling food onto my plate while I buried myself in my bowl, too flustered to look up. I couldn't grasp why he liked me, we'd lost touch for years, and now the sudden confession left me panicked. After dinner he drove me home. At the curb I pushed the door open, but he spoke again. Maddie, I meant every word, think it over. Wait, what do you even see in me? You really didn't know? Lucy's been aware since high school that I've been into you. I stood frozen. I didn't. He sighed, half amused, half helpless. Now you do. So, can I finally be your boyfriend? I bolted. Upstairs I didn't bother with lights, I went straight to the balcony. Sure enough, his car was still below, a tiny red glow in the dark. He was leaning against the car door, head down, cigarette glowing between his fingers. The truth was, Adrian really was everything a girl could ask for, tall, gorgeous, born into money without a single trace of spoiled rich boy arrogance. When he looked me straight in the eye and declared himself, word by deliberate word, my pulse stuttered. He was right, the past was past, so why shouldn't I let myself have a new boyfriend? Once that clicked, I didn't hesitate. I yanked the door open and ran. I skidded to a stop in front of him, breathless. Adrian, let's give this a shot. He gaped, then lit up like a kid on Christmas, crushing me so tight I almost couldn't breathe. Are you serious? Swear you're not joking, because I'm taking it as gospel, and you're not allowed to change your mind. My cheek against his chest, I felt his heart race, pounding like a drum line, and I'd never felt more sure of anything in my life. When word got out, Our old crowd was stunned. Nobody had bet on us ending up together. Some of them instantly started heckling for a free dinner. Adrian agreed, easy and generous, turning the joke into the official rollout of our couple status. Our day settled into a rhythm, quiet, warm, ordinary. I'd learned my lesson, so I turned down his offer to move in together. He simply bought the condo across the hall instead. Turned out the man had planned every step, and I caught myself grinning that he'd gone to so much trouble for me. I saw Ethan again at a municipal bid opening. He was tagging along with his company's project lead. At registration, he caught sight of my badge, mouth falling open, no sound coming out. The CEO swooped in, smooth as ever. "Well, Madison, look at you, our gracious host. Don't forget your old friends when the scores are tallied." "Just staff here," I said, smiling. "Fair fight, everyone welcome." I ushered them toward the next coworker. Inside, the CEO couldn't help muttering to Ethan, "Avery, who'd have thought? She walks out our door and now she's the client." "No, scratch that, we're begging to be her vendor." Goes to show the wheel keeps turning. Ethan stayed mute, his chest caved in like an invisible fist was squeezing the air out of him. The CEO shook his head. "Kid's usually quick on his feet, today he's a statue. Should have left him at the office." When his firm lost the award, I wasn't surprised. The competition had been brutal. I was stacking folders when Adrian rang. "Maddie, you wrapped? I'll pick you up, reservation set. Give me 5. I signed out with the coworkers, stepped into the lobby, and spotted a familiar silhouette, Ethan, shoulders drooping, looking older than his years. He spun around when he heard my heels. "Madison, have you been?" His voice cracked, he'd bitten his lip white. I kept my smile polite and my heart steady. "I'm great, thanks for asking." "Don't do this," he whispered. "We weren't supposed to end like strangers." Eyes bloodshot, he looked everywhere but at me. I sighed. "It's ancient history, Ethan. Let it rest. But I can't forget you. Every night I feel like I'm being cut open. Please, one more chance?" "No." The single word came from behind me, cold, final, and then Adrian's arm circled my waist. Ethan's gaze snapped to him, furious. "This is between Madison and me. Back off." Adrian laughed, low and sharp. "The second you try to poach my girl, it becomes my business." "Right, Maddie?" He sealed the claim with a kiss, hard, possessive, yet trembling with the same fear I hadn't known he carried. I gave his side a subtle pinch, enough. He read my eyes, saw I wasn't wavering, and eased off, though he kept me locked against him. I didn't look back at Ethan's shattered face. I let Adrian lead me to the car. The instant the doors shut, he was on me again, chin on my shoulder like a sulky kid. I laughed. "What's this?" I didn't even answer him. "I was scared you'd feel sorry and take him back." I snorted. "Not a chance. I'd have to be blind to trade you for leftovers." He chuckled, relieved, threading his fingers through mine. "Good, because I'm not letting you go, ever." We skipped the restaurant, hit the supermarket instead, and cooked dinner in my condo. 2 weeks later Adrian proposed. Under the eyes of both sets of parents and our closest friends, he dropped to one knee, a diamond flashing in his hand. "Maddie, marry me." My second proposal, but the first time I felt treasured instead of auditioned. "Yes," I whispered, and walked straight into his arms. On our wedding day I heard through the grapevine that Ethan had been laid off. I didn't ask where he'd landed, it felt like a story from another lifetime. Lucy, who'd missed being my last maid, stood ready this time. Before we walked the aisle she adjusted my veil and grinned. "Look at you beating me to the altar again, Vance." "Same maid, different groom." I laughed behind my bouquet. "Grooms may rotate, but my maid is non-negotiable." Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you liked it, hit like and share it with a friend. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.